Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Monday tip for the week. I'm Sandra Pollock, and every Monday I meet you here to share a tip, something that I'm hoping will help you as you go through your week to get the best out of your week, out of yourself, and all of your interactions. I'm continuing to speak on the topic of building character. And as we build character, we also build our self confidence, our self belief, our self trust, all of those things, because we begin to lay certain principles within the foundations of who we are and who we want to be that help us and guide us. And not only do these principles help us and guide us, but they also help to improve the interactions, the relationships that we have with other people, whether those are relationships at home, socially, or in the working environment. So that's what we're going to continue to share with you and what we are looking at together. And I've been doing this over the last few months now, and I'm hoping that you've been able to pick up some of these tips and to ingrain them, include them in your day to day. So I just want to say a huge good morning to Rosanna. Look forward to seeing you later on in the week, and I hope you're doing well. So we are talking today about listening. That is the topic. How good are you at listening? If we're honest, and this goes for me myself as well, listening is something we can always learn to do a little bit more of and learn to get better at it, because we're so used to so much information coming into us from everywhere that sometimes it feels as though we have to push and shout to be heard, to get our point across. But sometimes doing the reverse of that is actually much more powerful and much more effective. And it may seem counterintuitive as well, but it is hugely important that we learn to listen more carefully. Good morning, Mike. Good to have you listening as well. So we're talking about listening. And I started my introduction, my little writing that I hope that you've had a look at, to talk about information. We live in a world that, as I say, information is, we're bombarded with it all the time. Information is power, they say. It's an old, is it an adage? Probably an adage, an old adage that says information is power. And we see that in the data age that we live now. We have these big organizations that they're compiling everything they can about us so that they think that they know us. And in knowing us, they can direct what we see, what we hear, what we read, and thereby their hope is to influence our reactions, what we purchase, how we behave, who we vote for, all of those sorts of things. So information can be powerful. But when we bring that down to our positions as individuals walking through life, the same thing is true. Information is power. And so how do we gain information in a way that we can influence it to our best, and be more in control of it? Well, it's that little word called listening. How do we listen? How well do we listen? The power of listening means that we help ourselves to focus on the now, on where we are now, on who we are interacting with now in this moment. And in doing so, we create a connection between those who are with us in this present now. We create a connection, a synergy in terms of how we are dealing with this now. If we're listening attentively, if we're listening with our whole selves, we actually gain more information than if we are scattering our listening ability, if that makes sense to you, if we're scattering our power of thought in the moment. So, if we begin to listen first, one of the things that I try and get my clients to do is to learn how to listen. And one of the hardest things is to not listen to respond, but listen to understand. I mean, there are people like Zig Ziglar and Stephen Covey Sr. who taught those things, and they're still true now. When you listen, not to respond, but to understand what the person is saying, then that gives you more power, because you're not only understanding the words, you're not only gaining the words that the person is giving to you, but you're understanding them at a deeper level. You're getting to connect with them at a deeper level. And those are the things that build lasting relationships, lasting connections. And doing that actually helps the other person understand that you care for them more than trying to get your point across, but you care about where they're coming from and what they have to share and to give. And that is quite a powerful thing to be able to do and to be able to receive. And in building that connection, by slowing yourself down, by stopping yourself, by putting aside all of the things that you so much want that person to hear and to see about you, but trying to serve the person by in that moment, let's try to serve each other by listening to understand. When you listen to understand, you open a wider gateway where you build, as I say, that relationship. And in that relationship, the other person will at some point begin to feel heard, feel understood, feel valued. And when that happens, that creates an opening on the other side for that person to want to give you back the same things. Now, this doesn't always happen in one moment. It may happen in a period of time, but value yourself enough. And it's really about valuing yourself. Value yourself enough to stop yourself, hold yourself back, and create an understanding between you and that person, because that pays off in life time and time and time again. And it is hugely powerful in how we influence the world. If we don't understand the world around us, it is very hard to influence that world. But when we take time to understand and to connect those around us, we create openings, openings in relationships, openings in connections. And from those openings, people are more prepared to hear you because of what you've given them. You've given them listening, you've given them care, you've given them value, you've created understanding. So in time, they will want to do the same things. We are, as human beings, at our very core, givers, sharers. We are love, we are carers. We are people who want to help other people. You know, that is my belief, and that is what I've seen time and time again in dealing with thousands of people. So that is the way we are. So if we operate from that point where we care enough to listen, that builds something else in the other person. It helps them to open up who they are. And it creates an environment, a safe space where they feel, do you know what? I can afford to be my true self, which is one of love and caring and sharing and giving. And look, this is another person, this is an individual who's created, helped us both to create that environment so I can be my true self. And from there, the depth of synergy is, it will last years and years and years if we take time in this moment to listen. So listening is a powerful thing. It creates an opportunity for you to gain information, not only on the surface level, but on the deeper level, where you're actually building relationships and understanding people in their depth. So as we do that, then we can, just to confirm and to make sure that we understand what the person is saying, when we have listened, then we summarize what we think we've heard. This again confirms to the other party that they're being listened to, that they're being valued, and that you care enough to be concerned to ensure that you're hearing them correctly. Isn't that wonderful? Hasn't that happened to you before, where someone has said to you, okay, let me just share back with you what I think you're saying? Or have I got this right? Is this what you're saying? Or, okay, my understanding is that this happened and it made you feel this way, but you would prefer to change things so that this other thing could happen. Has that happened to you? I'm sure if you reflect back, it has at some point in your life. And how did that make you feel? Did you feel as though the person was listening to you? That the person was wanting to understand where you were coming from and what you were doing? And how did you feel when you went away from that situation? Did you feel valued, heard? Did you feel that, you were making progress and that there is the possibility of a good outcome? So then that is what I'm encouraging you this week to share by taking the time to truly listen. Listen to understand and not to respond. Most of the time we listen to get our point over. So we're not really hearing, we're not understanding, we're not truly listening. So this week it's about listening. And when we listen, when we practice to change our own ability to listen, we build character. The response that we get from other people is 100 times more positive, and more involving and more connecting than when we just listen to try and get our points over. This isn't an easy thing. It's a thing that happens, that we have to try again and again and again. Like everything else, it is practice. And I guess in my line of work, I've had to learn, and I'm still learning. Sometimes, an idea comes to me and I just want to get that over, and I have to pull myself back. So sometimes I jot things down when I'm talking to somebody so that if that idea is important enough, we can come back to it later. But something that I do even more so now is that I trust that the divine energy that is in both of us will help us to focus on the important things. Because what I might think is important may not be what's really important. So I connect to the divine energy, whatever you want to call it. But there is a connection, a spiritual energy connection between all of us that cares just enough, just as much for the one as it does for the other. And therefore, if we trust in that, connect with that, we will find that our conversations, our engagement will produce the right outcomes. But we have to be prepared to listen, both internally and externally. And we have to be prepared to trust that as we listen to understand the outcomes, which are for the highest good for both people in that conversation or group or whatever you're interacting with. If we trust and want and listen for the highest outcome for all of us, then that is what we will accomplish. This is something I do all the time when I'm engaging with people, whether it's one person or hundreds of people. I trust that the outcome will be for the highest good of everybody concerned. And in doing that, it means that I have to be listening internally to my higher self, my emotion, my intuition, whatever you want to call it. But I also have to be listening to understand and to care for the other person that I'm engaging with too. So this week it's listening, a powerful, powerful tool if we can encourage ourselves to listen more carefully, more honestly, and more caringly, then the outcomes are better. So thank you. I am going to say hellos to people that I've not said. Bavish, blessings. Hello to you. So glad to have you join me today. Rosanna says, hello, lovely. I'm doing well, thank you, and I hope that you are too. It would be great to catch up. Yes, Rosanna and I are catching up later on in the week. Looking forward to that. Helen, Samaya, wonderful to have you join me today. Blessings to you. Helen also says, so true. I must slow down and listen. Pause to reflect. quality engagement. Absolutely. And I'm wishing you all huge, huge success as you take this tip for the week and put it into everything that you're doing. And let me know how it works for you. If you need some more in-depth help on this, don't forget, this is what I do. I help people improve their mindset and how they engage with the world around them. So message me offline and I will be happy to get together with you and to give you some help and support. I'm going to bless you and allow you to go into your week. Thank you so much for listening and engaging with me this morning. I appreciate this. And as I say, if this has been beneficial, please share it on. I'm all about helping people get the best out of themselves and to succeed in being who they are in this life. So blessings, light, love, and every good thing. Tony, sweetheart, you've joined me late, but you know what? You can go back and listen. This is a good one, Tony, and I'm sure it will be a blessing to you as well. But I'm going to sign off now. Let you get on with your day. I've got a busy day ahead of me, but I will come back and see your comments. So comment and share. I will greatly appreciate that because you're going to have a great week this week. You know, remember that. Think about that. You deserve a wonderful weekend. It's only because you are a fabulous person. So two late joiners there, Tony, blessings to you. Thank you. Jazz, lovely to have you on board. Tony says, better later than never. You're absolutely right, Tony. And Rosanna says, blessings to you too. So love, light, and every good thing to you. If you're catching me late, go back, pick up later, and do share this on. Blessings. Love you. Have a fabulous week. And yeah, Tony says, I'm going to go back and listen now. Thank you very much. So love, light, and every good thing. And I'll catch you on Friday where I'm sharing catching up on the gratitude side. And that's around 10 o'clock on Friday. Blessings, light, and every good thing to you. And I'll catch you later on in the week. Have a fabulous week. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Bye.